The world we know today, with its intricate web of nations, cultures and economies, is deeply scarred by colonialism. For centuries, powerful European nations, driven by a potent mix of greed, ambition, and a sense of cultural superiority, embarked on a campaign of global conquest. This era of colonialism, spanning from the 15th to the 20th centuries, fundamentally reshaped the demographics, economies, and power structures of our planet. The legacy of colonialism continues to reverberate, influencing international relations, economic disparities, and cultural identities. Understanding this historical period is not merely an academic exercise, it is essential for comprehending the roots of many contemporary global challenges. It is only by grappling with the complex and often brutal realities of colonialism that we can begin to address its enduring impact and strive for a more just and equitable world. This essay will delve into the motivations behind European colonialism, examining the economic, political and social forces that propelled these empires across the globe. We will explore the profound and often devastating consequences of colonialism for the colonized populations, from the dismantling of traditional social structures to the exploitation of resources and labor. Finally, we will engage in a thought experiment, envisioning what the world might have looked like if colonialism never occurred. By imagining alternative historical trajectories, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the profound and lasting impact of this period on the course of human history. To understand the driving forces behind European colonialism, we must look beyond simplistic explanations of greed or thirst for power, although these were undoubtedly significant factors. European expansion was fueled by a complex interplay of economic, political and ideological motivations, each contributing to the momentum of conquest. On the economic front, the search for new trade routes and access to raw materials played a crucial role. The rise of mercantilism, an economic system that emphasized national wealth accumulation through a favorable balance of trade, fueled the desire to secure colonies as sources of valuable resources and captive markets for manufactured goods. The pursuit of spices, silk, sugar, gold, and other treasures lured European powers to distant shores, transforming global trade networks and fueling the growth of European economies at the expense of colonized regions. Political rivalries between European nations also contributed to the scramble for colonies. As European powers vied for dominance on the world stage, acquiring overseas territories became a symbol of national prestige and a means of projecting power. Each new colony added to a nation's perceived strength, fueling a cycle of competition and expansion. Ideological justifications, often rooted in racist and Eurocentric worldviews, provided a convenient moral cover for colonial exploitation. European powers often viewed themselves as bearers of civilization and Christianity, justifying their conquests as a civilizing mission to uplift and enlighten supposedly backward peoples. This paternalistic and deeply flawed ideology served to mask the brutal realities of colonialism and legitimize the exploitation and subjugation of entire populations. The impact of colonialism on the societies, economies and cultures of the colonized regions was profound and often devastating. Far from being a benevolent force, as colonial apologists often claimed, European colonialism left a legacy of exploitation, violence and cultural disruption that continues to shape the world today. One of the most significant consequences of colonialism was the redrawing of political boundaries without regard for existing ethnic, linguistic or cultural realities. This arbitrary division of land and people created artificial states, often encompassing diverse and historically antagonistic groups, sowing the seeds for future conflicts and instability. The legacy of these imposed borders is evident in many parts of the world today, where ethnic tensions and territorial disputes continue to fuel violence and unrest. Colonialism also had a profound impact on the economies of the colonized region. European powers implemented economic systems designed to benefit the metropole, extracting resources and funneling profits back to Europe. Colonies were often forced into monoculture agriculture, producing cash crops like sugar, cotton or rubber for export, while neglecting their own food security. This dependence on a single crop made colonies vulnerable to price fluctuations and stifled industrial development. creating a legacy of economic dependence that persisted long after independence. The cultural impact of colonialism was equally profound. European powers often sought to suppress indigenous languages, religions, and cultural practices, viewing them as inferior or a threat to their authority. Missionaries worked to convert local populations to Christianity, while colonial education systems promoted European languages and values. This cultural assault had a devastating effect on indigenous identities, leading to the loss of languages, traditions, and a sense of historical continuity. Imagining a world where European colonialism never occurred is a fascinating exercise. It requires us to consider the potential trajectories of societies if they developed independently, free from European domination. This thought experiment offers insights into the impact of colonialism and highlights the resilience of human cultures. In Africa, powerful empires like the Asante, Benin, or Songhai might have continued to flourish. Trade networks could have connected Africa to the Middle East, Asia, and Europe on equitable terms. Perhaps powerful African nation-states would have shaped their own destinies. The Americas, too, offer a compelling case study. Without European conquest, indigenous populations might have thrived, evolving along unique paths. The Aztec, Inca, and Maya empires might have persisted, their achievements standing as testaments to their ingenuity. By imagining these alternative trajectories, we challenge Eurocentric narratives and recognize the potential of marginalized society. It allows us to envision a world where cultural diversity flourished and global power was more equitable.